Born Francesco Raffaele Nitto in Angri, Italy on January 27, 1888, Nitti emigrated to the United States at age 12 and took on the Americanized name Frank Nitto. The media would always refer to him as Nitti, but he preferred Nitto. His family settled in Brooklyn, and the family of his cousins Al and Frank Capone lived nearby. He moved to Chicago around 1913, and worked as a barber but soon got into the side business of jewel thefts, fencing stolen goods, and liquor smuggling. Johnny Torrio was the crime boss overseeing Chicago, the underworld of which was in its infancy at the time. However, with the onset of Prohibition, the U.S. government had inadvertently birthed a lucrative new criminal revenue stream. Competing bootlegging gangs fought for control, and criminal loyalties between gangs were shifting and fluid. Torrio had previously brought a new soldier to Chicago from Brooklyn, Al Capone. It was Torrio and Capone who plotted the ambush and murder of the previous Chicago boss, Big Jim Colosimo. Capone started to trust his cousin Frank Nitti with his life. Organized and financially astute, Nitti was placed in charge of cash flow for Capone, and soon was given the nickname, the Enforcer. Nitti shone by arranging gangland murders and making sure they could never be pinned on him. On March 18, 1943, the law was closing in on Frank Nitti and the outfit. Rika and other underbosses drove to Nitti's house in the Chicago suburb of Riverside. In a telling indication of the balance of power within the outfit, Rika insisted that Nitti plead guilty to the charges to limit the outfit's exposure. The indictments had jeopardized the entire organization, and Nitti was expected to take the fall. The following morning, March 19, Nitti received a call from his lawyer. New York indictments had been issued. Nitti asked his wife to attend church for the Novena prayer, then drank himself into a stupor from the liquor cabinet and left the house with his revolver. Witnesses on that day reported Nitti drunkenly weaving around a rail yard near his home before he eventually sat down, using the gun to take his own life, as reported by the Chicago Tribune. Nitti's severe claustrophobia left him with no choice when faced with the prospect of serious prison time. And although Frank Nitti wished for a painless death, that's not how it unfolded. The outfit boss had to shoot himself twice, with the final shot going through his jaw and out the top of his head, leaving a smoking hole in his fedora.